So as I carry over these big heaping helpings of Chesapeake Bay trash to the dumpster, let's talk a little taxation, more specifically the highly sensationalized BBD or buy, borrow, die, quote-unquote billionaire loophole using stepped-up basis in taxation. There's been quite a few calls from many on the left to end this ability and quite a few from the right to continue it. But without explanation, these are all just words to make you mad at the rich. So what is BBD, a stepped-up basis in taxation, and why do we, a life insurance brokerage, care? Kind of the going theory behind buy, borrow, and die is that when billionaires want to continue to purchase more assets with their billions, instead of selling off stocks, bonds, and securities that they own and having to pay off capital gains tax, it's cheaper for them to borrow that money against their securities than use that to purchase whatever asset. And it's not only cheaper in the short run, but also thought to be cheaper in the long run, because when they die and the securities are left to their estate, the beneficiaries of that estate, their heirs, receive a stepped-up basis in taxation on those securities, which means they receive those assets at what's called a fair market evaluation. In other words, after receiving those assets and later selling them, they're only taxed on what it was worth the day that they received them, instead of being taxed on the difference between what they were originally bought for when the deceased owner of the estate actually purchased them. So the heirs get to sell those inherited stocks and bonds without having to pay large capital gains tax, if any at all. Now this does sound like a loophole, and for the vastly rich it really is. But there's another part to the story that you're not told, and that's that the estate itself is assessed a estate tax. See, all assets left to a deceased owner's estate, over $14 million for a single owner and over $28 million for a deceased married couple, are assessed federal estate taxes up to 40% of the total value of that estate, and sometimes even state estate taxes. Now the thing is, the only way for the heirs to get a stepped-up basis in taxation for receiving that inheritance is if it's left in the estate, meaning those securities and assets can't be moved to something like an irrevocable trust, because assets sold out of an irrevocable trust are taxed on a carryover gains basis, which will be the full difference between what was originally purchased and the selling price. And so yes, for heirs to be able to receive an inheritance and then sell those assets at a stepped-up basis is quite a valuable IRS rule to them. If that inheritance is truly large, aka wealthy, of a millionaire or billionaire type, those heirs first have to pay almost half that estate in taxes to the federal and state governments, which after all is said and done is far larger than any carryover capital gains tax that would have been assessed. Now beyond that, this isn't really a billionaire tax loophole because we actually all have the ability to do the same. Every individual passes away, all the assets that they own are going to be a part of their estate. So when your beneficiaries receive those assets out of your estate, they will do so at a stepped-up basis, enjoying the same favorable capital gains tax treatment. Now we need to know these things because when an estate tax bill is due, implementing specialized life insurance policies are the primary ways of trying to pay for that estate tax due. It's paid out both immediately and income tax free. Again, that's the same for all of us, millionaire, billionaire, or a common trash picker like myself.